What's up, guys? So I'm making this video solely for the fact that there wasn't really much online for rebuilding the OEM Turbo. There was a few videos out there, but they were kind of old, and figured I'd make something a little bit better that's put together. I've already rebuilt one here. It's just OEM turbos with billet compressor wheel, slightly larger. So I'm gonna be getting these balanced and everything, sending them off. But I'm just going through some of the steps. So if you guys want to tackle it on your own, it's really not that difficult. Yeah, let's get started. So obviously, like anything, nice, good, clean work area. Hear my cat in the background meowing. So I already have the char all cleaned up. Pressure washed, acid dipped, a little bit of medium blasting, but overall came out pretty well. Turbine wheel, new turbine wheel. There's the billet wheel, and then the full kit here. You'll have some bearings, thrust washers, assortment of clips and seals and new nuts. So at that, just some oil for assembly. A couple different type of snap ring pliers, straight ones and 90s just in case. Let's see, got a 10 mil and 7 mil, tighten up, some Loctite, a couple picks just in case, and a magnet to help sometimes something gets stuck. All right, so like I said, all of our items been cleaned, everything's been good to go. So let's get started. So I'm just lubing up some of the parts here, the main bearing. Go ahead and get some down inside here. I'm just gonna sit in. We're gonna do the compressor side first. It's gonna sit in there, and a little bit more oil on the face. All right, and take this thrust, this one here, and it's gonna go face down, something like this. Your plate, this oil jet here, this groove is gonna go face down into it. Like that. All right. You got your O-ring here. Lube that up a little bit. My fingers already got some oil on it. And yeah, little tips and tricks I picked up. A little stretching does make it go in, but there'll be a groove in here that'll fit nicely into. It's down inside here, this groove right there. You can see it's brown O-ring. It's down in there nice and tight. All right, now next one, you have this thrust bearing. I think that's what they call it. I think. Oops, sorry. Yeah, the longer one. And then you'll have your smaller compressor seal. Sorry, put that in focus. I'm not a fancy vlogger with all this special stuff. I'm trying to help people out. Anyway, so you know, the tips and tricks said to make sure that you put your the compressor seal on before you put this in, but I found that mine fits through fine. It's not that tight of a tolerance, so I just slip this on like that. Yeah, and it looks like there's a lot of play, like it doesn't fit, but once it pinches down to the assembly, it's good to go. All right, and then this guy here is gonna fit into here like this. Like that. And then I'm gonna put a little bit of oil between this mating surface. And then the lag, yeah, just gotta be careful pushing this compressor seal into here. I found that, like, you know, slow and steady, a little bit of twisting, kind of lining up where the opening is to one side. And you'll hear a little audible, a little bit of an audible click, a little bit. Yeah, see, but you heard the click, but this it's still not fully seated on one side, and because when I go to press it in against the housing, I don't want it to bend the compressor seal, because then you're I'm assuming something's gonna leak or something's gonna be bad, and all that hard work for nothing. So yeah, there we go. Now it's fully seated in there. All right. So my hands are still oily, clean and oily. So I'm gonna go ahead, now we're gonna insert this into here. Now this is where it got tricky. It's really gotta be flush. Because it tries to go in crooked at all, it will not like to go. See? So this is where my pick comes into play, because I gotta get this back out. And my magnet. Magnet back out, clean that guy. Try again. Trial and error, guys. Not a professional, but it's, to be honest, it's really not that difficult. Okay, that time that one seated down good. Yeah, you can see here, there's really no gap there anymore. Great. All right, so again, kind of self-explanatory. Tang goes down into here. It does take some pressure. Once it's and again, just have to level it out a little bit. Needs to go in there nice and flush. To be honest, this is the part that gave me the trouble the most last time. Put a little bit more oil on here. you'll see you'll be able to get your snap ring pliers in at that point. All right, new snap ring pliers. I found it helpful to put the snap ring, unless y'all don't know, to like on the same surface that you're trying to pick up. Because if you have too long of little holes, you try to put it in, you're not gonna be able to get it flush down there. So just put it on the table. No. Failed attempt 1. Failed attempt 2. And you'll get the snap in there. Pretty simple on that. All right. And then kind of now the easy part. Put a little bit of, flip it over to the exhaust side. And put a little bit of oil in here. And grease up your other bearing. Grease, oil up. Either one. So your other bearing. That bad boy is just gonna sit down in there. Now your turbine wheel, and you're gonna have another seal, larger one. That's gonna go on the lower one right there. This one was a little bit more tighter fitting. There's 2 grooves on this compressor wheel. I'm assuming there's multiple, or same on all compressor wheels, because even my OEM one had a double, but it won't fit into the first groove. So don't worry about that. It won't actually go into the first groove. So I use a pick to slide it over the pick, fingernail, whatever you see fit, to get it over a little hump, a little groove, so it can go down to the bottom one. You heard that click? Yep, that's it, it's down there. Same thing, looks larger, but it seals down. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and get some lube on this guy. Liberal on the shaft, you know. This is gonna be the main portion that it's gonna be sliding through. All right, and of course your heat shield. My kit didn't come with me one, so I just had to clean the old ones up. They look old, but they're pretty clean. That guy goes on here. Shaft goes through. Now, to make sure the compressor seal doesn't bend, a little bit of twisting motion when pushing it through. And it's a little tight, but you'll hear it. There we go. All right, there we go, good. All right. Now, being careful not bending these fins. Next step is your compressor wheel. Compressor wheel is gonna go down. Your nut, remember, counter rotating. Counter rotating nut. So, not lefty loosey, righty tighty. A little bit of Loctite here. $10mm on the exhaust side. 7mm, the compressor wheel. Alright, there you have it. Nice, fully assembled. Oh, it's on the exhaust housing. That's the good to go. Well, that's about it, guys. I mean, that's the short of it. You know, I'm about to send these off to get balanced. I 3D printed some covers to ship them in. I'll tape these on and should keep them nice and protected, the fins, while they're gone, because I gotta get the compressor housings fit for the bigger wheel, because you can see I went slightly larger wheel, so we'll see. And then I went with the 9-blade clip. It's OEM size, but it's 9. It's a high flow, same size. Doesn't look like it, but it is. So yeah, not sure where I'm gonna put this. It's gonna be about 18 minutes long, 19 minutes long. So not sure if I'm gonna put it on YouTube or just stick it up on one of the forums. But comment if you'd like to. If I did something wrong, I did something wrong. But after all the videos I watched and the simplisticness of it, just taking your time, being prepped out, that's all that matters. All right, thanks.